Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. It is Thursday, March 14th, and Joe Biden. Good old Joey. The geriatric, the puppet. I love doing this. Hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs, looks for dead people in the crowd, converses with dead people. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one. Fights with his teleprompter. Folks, somebody get that teleprompter a heavyweight belt because that bad boy's been undefeated for 3.5 years. Fighting with Joe Biden every day and winning is a remarkable statistic. Again, his teleprompter, 3 years undefeated. Joe Biden, folks, we do this every morning. Joe Biden somehow got 82, 83 million votes. Couldn't fill a parking lot full of people. Donald Trump fills stadiums and the parking lots at the same time. Doesn't beat Joe Biden. Somehow Joe Biden got 82, 83 million votes. Well, Joe Biden's still the worst president, folks. He is still the most crooked and worst president in American history. Patriots, go to him. It's so good to see you on this fine Thursday morning. The theme of today's episode is all about government wasteful spending. Now, we're being told the economy's doing fine, right? You're really feeling it. You're feeling wages have increased, right? Eggs have gone down in price. You're not feeling it at the pump as you were maybe in 2020, 2021. It's all baloney. In some cases, your grocery bills have gone up double. In some states, triple. Gas prices are through the roof once again and are going to only continue to go up. Not only is it spring break, but heading into summer, things aren't going to go the right direction. So you have grocery bills going up, gas prices going up, electricity's going up, everything's going up. And Joe Biden stands on that podium during the State of the Union and says, everything's fine, folks. It's not as bad as you think it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's ridiculous. Well, folks, it's not just the economy doing bad. It's not just your grocery bills going up. It's not just everything in general going up because they're going to tell you that inflation's down, inflation's up. Just the wasteful spending. We're spending billions of dollars everywhere. That's not solving a damn thing. And you have this happening. Joe Biden's State Department was forced, they didn't do this out of the sincerity of their heart. They were forced to disclose a multi-million-dollar cost to Biden's diversity agenda. Watch how much money they spent on this. It's just mind-blowing. Biden's State Department privately disclosed to Congress that it spent $77 million. Now, in the grand scheme of things of our entire budget, I understand this is a drop in the bucket. It's still wasteful spending. That could have went to our veterans, right? I mean, anything else more productive. Fixing the potholes that we have all over the country, at least in the federal sense. So $77 million on diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility efforts in the last 2 years. And it plans to eclipse that. They're just going to blow it out of the water. They're going to eclipse that total in the final year of Biden's term. Why? Because Biden doesn't expect to be reelected. Biden doesn't expect to survive another 4 years. So he's going, well, let's just blow it out of the water. Let's spend the money we don't have. Screw them. So the administration was forced by a provision in last year's spending bill to disclose to Congress exactly how much it spent on DEI. That private report obtained exclusively by the Daily Wire shows Biden has spent $77 million in 2022 and 2023 on DEI-related initiatives. Mind you, we just got done talking about how Ted Cruz exposed the Biden administration, specifically, I think it was the executive branch, the general inspector and inspector generals, hiring on the basis of race. They were instructed to hire on the basis of race, which is illegal and racist. Should we expect anything less from the Democrat Party, folks? This is the party of the Klan, the party of slavery, the party of not going for civil rights. A lot of the stuff you see was because of Republicans. They didn't have enough Democrat votes, folks. It was because of Republicans. That's why we have a lot of the civil rights acts, a lot of civil rights movements that we have today, because of our party, Republican Party. So it kind of makes sense why they want to hire based on race. Not only is it illegal, and Democrats are known to do a lot of illegal things. Hell, just look at the last election. But you understand where I'm going with this. Its spending calculations, however, are based on a narrow definition of DEI. The spending, according to the disclosure, went entirely towards DEI efforts in the Bureau of Global Talent Management. What the hell is that? Do you notice that every time we do shows, we find like a new thing that's completely meaningless, which just shows you how big our government has gotten and how wasteful we are? Get rid of the whole Bureau, which states on its website that its primary goal is to sustain a diverse, talented, and inclusive workforce. Like I said, get rid of it. Meanwhile, an undisclosed amount of central funds are used to pay for 12 full-time employees in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Chief Diversity Inclusion Officer Constance Mayer enjoys an annual salary of nearly $180,000. Isn't that wild? You guys, there was I think it was UCSD, don't quote me on the university. USD hired a diversity, equity, and inclusion, like basically a person that oversees if they're meeting their requirements. Like there's so many of this race here, so many of that race there, that type of stuff. I think it was like $600,000, $800,000 or some wild number like that. I thought it was gonna be higher. 180,000, don't get me wrong, is insane. Karine Jean-Pierre, you guys, gets paid $180,000. Let that one sink in. Plus benefits. Oh, it's more than $180,000. And she gets a pension. Your taxpayer dollars. Yeah, both of us. We're paying for Karine Jean-Pierre to stand on the podium for an hour. Not even an hour. Sometimes we get her for 30 minutes to not answer a single question. That whole binder, there's no answers in there, you guys. I'm laughing because it's so ludicrous. I don't make anywhere near $180,000. Yes, I don't even make anywhere near $100,000. I'm not saying I'm smarter than Karine, but I know I might be up there with her. It's insane. So wasteful. Congressional leaders who force a disclosure says it shows that the State Department's ideological overemphasis on DEIA has come to penetrate every bureau and embassy under the Biden administration. Basically, it's in all facets of the administration. Folks, it's not just the administration. It's in all facets of the Democrat Party, which is driving this country into the ground. Look at everything that they're doing. You don't have to look far. Go to your grocery store. Hell, go to your local liquor store. Where do you go every day? Are things more expensive than they were 4 years ago? Let me know. Because it's guaranteed they are. We're all getting, whether you're Democrat or Republican, you are getting shafted. The only difference is Republicans want to change. Democrats say, thank you, sir, may I have another? That's the difference. Democrats want to say, thank you, sir, please going, hit me harder. Republicans go, get the hell away from me. I don't like this. I can't even buy toilet paper. I can't buy the essentials. Please, for the love of God, get out of office so we can fix this. Get Trump, Mr. 45, hopefully 47 in there, so I can fix this up. We got to clean it up again. What Obama did was terrible. Obama just ran this country into the ground. Look, I didn't think Joey had it in him. I didn't, but damn, I was wrong. Joey sat there and ran this country right into the ground. I'm going to fix it, folks. Make America great again. Mr. President, we need you back. We need you back big time. Well, you got here a Republican of Texas, who's the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, was responsible for inserting the provision that required the State Department to tell Congress how much it was spending on DEI. Notice it's a Republican that wants to disclose to be transparent, but the Biden administration on their campaign and also their first week of office said they're going to be the most transparent administration that's ever existed. And you get the Afghanistan debacle happening. They lied about the Twitter files. They lied about the classified documents. We just covered it yesterday. Joe Biden lied about his own testimony. His own testimony, he said, well, I didn't bring up my son, Beau. Robert Hur brought up my son, Beau, and when he died. Turns out that was a lie. Joe Biden said he knew nothing about the classified documents. Robert Hur on tape has Joe Biden saying he knew about the classified documents. He testified under oath. Robert Hur testified under oath that Joe Biden knew about the classified documents, and Joe Biden sat there and lied to us on tape numerous amounts of times. Karine Jean-Pierre lied to us about it. Ian Sams lied to us about it. The White House counsel lied to us about it. The DOJ lied to us about it, other than Robert Hur. It's astonishing how many Democrats lied to us about it. You know what Democrats are saying? Robert Hur testimony exonerates Joe Biden. Joe Biden lied. Why did Joe Biden want all that money? Or rather, why did he want all the classified documents? Was because of money. Was because of power, because he was writing a book that he was going to get $8 million for. That's why. And that's what we uncovered yesterday. And now we're uncovering this because Republicans want transparency. Republicans speak on behalf of the American people. The Democrat Party doesn't. Tell me different. I'm not saying Republicans do everything right, but in terms of a holistic view, Republicans are definitely better. Definitely better than Democrats. Not that much better, but better. I don't side with politicians, folks. I don't side just with one party. I tend to choose the Republican Party because they tend to align with somewhat of my values. I'm not saying the Republican Party is diminishing, because I think it is. And I think at some point we might need a new party called the Conservative Party. But you understand where I'm going with this. Just because they're Republican doesn't mean I vote Republican. What are your views? You're a tool for me, not you, the viewer. The politicians are tools. They need to get our agenda done because they speak on behalf of us. And that's what's going on here. Democrat Party, not so much. Look, if they were on behalf of the American people, a lot of things would be fixed. Immigration's the number one issue for Americans. A lot of them don't like it. The vast majority of them don't like it. So if they were speaking on behalf of the American people or working on behalf of the American people, you wouldn't have this debacle. Americans don't love having their grocery bill tripled. Why is it all happening to the Democrats? Why are Democrats not disclosing a lot of this stuff? Why is it constantly we're being lied to by the Democrat Party? Why were we being lied to under the Obama administration? Why were we being lied to by Hillary Clinton with Benghazi and her bleach bit in her server in her bathroom? Who the hell? Hand to God, you guys, you know anybody? I know I'm going on a rant here. You enjoy the rants. You told me you enjoy the rants. I'm going on a damn rant. How many of you have ever seen a server in a bathroom? How many of you have ever seen a server in your life, let alone in a bathroom? No. I've seen servers, never in a bathroom. Never seen somebody destroy a bunch of cell phones with hammers before. Whole purpose of me bringing this up, Democrat Party's not transparent, although they're going to tell us they're transparent without being transparent. Now, foreign and civil service officers must pledge allegiance or else risk not being promoted, because that's going to stop. Like, this doesn't stop anything from the corruption that's happening in our government. It doesn't stop a damn thing. But check this out. This is where you're about to get kicked in the nuts. All indications are that Biden administration will only step up its spending on DEI. The agency has requested up to $83 million. It takes my breath away when I'm using these types of numbers for meaningless things. $83 million to push DEI in fiscal year 2024, threatening to bring the official 3-year total to $160 million. Because you guys, we don't have any other serious things happening around the world. We don't have anything going on in our own domestic country, our own areas, but we need to spend $160 million over the course of 3 years. This president sucks. I know you know, but God, I gotta say it. Makes me feel better. The budget includes up to $83.3 million for continued expansion. So it's not like it's getting smaller, you guys. They want this sucker to explode and be big and sit there and infiltrate all facets of government, from our military to the executive branch to the DOJ to the legislature, everywhere. They want this DEI initiative to blow up. And anything that's ever created in government tends to not close down. It only gets worse. I hope Trump just sits there and just cleans freaking house his last 4 years. Clean house, get rid of it all, fire a lot of people. They should have saw it coming. This is not something we need as a country. Now, it's not just this that's come out, and I want to cover this. We did a video the other day, I don't think a lot of people saw it, where Dr. Rand Paul sounds the alarm on 6,000 plus earmarks, you guys, and he classified his top 10. And I want to go over the top 10 with you here. Let me switch my viewpoint here. Look at this top 10, you guys. This comes directly from Rand Paul. This is literally from his freaking website. Here's the first one. There's 605 pages of this stuff. They want to spend $4 million. This is the Biden administration. $4 million on a waterfront walkway in New Jersey. Folks, why is the federal government sending New Jersey $4 million for a walkway? Build your own walkway. Folks, your taxpayer dollars is supposed to go for the benefit of everybody. This is going for the benefit of those that live near the walkway, that live in New Jersey. Talk about niche. $3.5 million for Detroit's Thanksgiving Parade Float Makers' new headquarters. Really? How many of you, one, have been to Detroit, and how many of you watched the Thanksgiving Parade float, let alone are going to go utilize the headquarters to make the damn float? You're not talking about many people. Waste of money. $1.75 million for Met, the metropolitan. Wow, wow, I can't even say it. The Museum of Damn Art. Okay, the Metro Museum of Art. God, I sound like Joey now. Forget slurring my words. What? It's morning, folks. Give me a break here. I'm using that as an excuse. I got my coffee. $500 million for gardens in San Francisco. $1 million for an environmental justice center in New York City. I'm sure you can read the rest yourselves. We do have people on audio, so we're going to continue this bad boy. We got $1 million for a nonprofit in Minnesota to build a coffee shop and a greenhouse for refugees. I can't do it. I'm trying so bad to keep my composure. Folks, this is just 10. There's 6,000+ of these. You're talking billions of dollars with a B. Billions being just thrown out there of your hard-earned money, you guys. You can't afford to pay groceries, some of us. We can't afford to sit there and pay Netflix, a Disney Plus subscription, whoever else paying for that. Like getting gas, like putting food on our table. And we're doing this. $1 million for help San Francisco organic dairy farmers. I mean, can you get any more freaking progressive than talking about San Francisco and then adding in the word organic? $500,000 for a cybercrime vehicle. Not vehicles. $500,000 for a cybercrime vehicle for the Honolulu Police Department. $1.2 million for a bike path resurfacing in Rhode Island. $209,000 for an HVAC replacement for the Charlestown Opera House in West Virginia. Oh, it goes on, folks. The whole purpose? This wasteful spending from our government. Wasteful spending of our government. But don't worry, they have it all handled, you guys. They have it all handled. And through having them have it all handled, they want to screw you over. Like I mentioned, not only are they wasting money, and we'll come back to more money just being completely wasted, but we also have them wanting to figure out solutions for their reasons of increasing the prices of everything. And their reasons for doing that and solving it is this right here. Just for one example, California braces for new electric plan, make more, pay more. So yes, I live in the state of California. This is going to affect me. It affects all people living in California. And what's going to happen is no longer are you going to pay on the electricity that you use as a house. You're going to pay based on how much you make. Yeah, oh, you heard that correctly. You might have just spit out your coffee right now. You are not going to be charged on how much electricity you use. You're going to be charged on how much you make as a household. Meaning, you could be super wealthy, not use that much electricity. Hell, maybe you have solar panels. You have some dude that doesn't make any money that's just freaking running beams all across his house. Electricity meters freaking going through the roof and doesn't pay a dime. And you're basically paying for the other dude's electricity because you work your ass off and make more money. Watch this. If you think this is only California and doesn't have an opportunity coming to you, you're sorely mistaken. California, I've always said, is the guinea pig of the union. Everything gets tried here, and if they can push it through, whether it works or not, oh, it's coming to a place near you. So how to go green without going broke? That's the latest challenge in the alternative energy capital of California, where Democrats propose taxing the rich to make energy more equitable and affordable. Equitable and affordable for whom? Oh, well, we'll find out in just one moment. To do so, lawmakers mandated utilities statewide begin billing ratepayers based on not how much electricity they use, but on how much money they make. This is called theft. It is called theft. Just in the same way, they're spending all those millions on DEI initiatives, sending billions of dollars to this country, billions of dollars to that country when we're $34 trillion in debt. I'm not saying people don't need help. We should help people. But how can you help somebody when you don't have money? Quote, this would be the first state to charge people based on their income. It's never happened before. Rather than what they actually just use. Guys, you got to, for the love of God, please comment. Let me know if this is insane. If this is crazy. Because in my opinion, it is wild. It's never happened. Why stop? Why not take people's money? The problem here has been affordability. While California has focused almost completely on clean energy, it has disregarded reliability and affordability, and costs have continued to escalate. You guys, the same state, well, hell, country too, because the Democrat Party's in office, are trying to push these green energy agenda, right? You saw the Green New Deal from AOC, that psycho. Get rid of all airplanes, trucks, railways, remodel every new house. Folks, there wasn't even enough money literally in the world to pay for what she wanted to pay for. These people are pushing that everybody needs to have like an electric vehicle or electric vehicles that are sold by like 2025 or 2035 or some crazy timeline. Everybody needs to have an electric vehicle. You guys, I live here. I've lived here for 35 years. Well, maybe 34 because I lived in the East Coast for a bit. They sit there and turn off your thermostat in your household. You're paying for a service and they're turning it off on you and still charging you for that service of which they turned off or throttled down on you. It's so they don't have brownouts or they don't have blackouts. They told people not to charge their Teslas in the summer. You guys, again, lived here my entire life. Guess when it gets hot? It's not a shock. I know it's coming. I know it's coming because I've lived here my entire life. Yes, it's going to get hot. Yes, in the summer, you're absolutely correct. August, September, it's really hot. And these knuckleheads, well, don't plug in your electric car because we can't handle it. The grid can't handle it. So you're telling everybody to go fully electric on a grid that can't handle even what we have now, which is a fraction of what you're going to have in 10 years, and you're doing nothing to update the grid. Matter of fact, you're closing down nuclear plants. Huh? No, they have it all figured out. What do you mean? What? Whoa, 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 whoa! Time out, you guys. I was told that they have it all figured out. Why are you telling me that they do? Of course, I'm being facetious. I know none of you are telling me they have it figured out. These guys don't have their head on straight. This guy wants to run for office down there. He wants to run for president. Yeah, I know. I know. This is the world we live in. We're in it together, folks. Yeah, I know. He wants to run for president. Dude that can't run a state wants to run a country. You guys, it's like somebody that can't run their own department in a company going, I want to be CEO. I want to own the place. It's like, dude, you couldn't even run a computer. What do you mean you want to run the entire technology company? Right there. That guy. God, it drives me up a wall. I'm going to get screwed. I understand some of you are like, well, we don't live in California, man. I don't care. You got to care about me, man. I'm on the front lines over here. Send help. So, again, the problem was affordability. They can't get under control because they don't know how to run a state. So, one of the ways they thought to address the affordability was, I don't know, let's just consider a tax and begin taxing people based on their income to address the electricity rates. It's not going to fix the problem. You're still going to have not enough electricity. You guys, I look, you know, I'm no different than any of you. I'm not a rocket scientist. Maybe some of you are. I just have a mic and a camera. I can connect the dots. They don't know what they're doing. The California Public Utilities Commission has until July 1st to impose the new rate structure. I'm praying to God it doesn't work. Please, I know I sound like Joey. You have this now in your pocket. Like, please don't put this in. I'll get to the rates. You guys are going to spit out your coffee when I get to the rates based on household. To impose the new rate structure, the state's three main utilities, Pacific Gas, Electric, Southern California Edison, which is mine, and then San Diego Gas and Electric. Folks, some of these people at this one right here, Southern California Edison, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, get paid almost six figures to give tours. Yes. T-O-U-R. Almost six figures to walk people around the Southern California Edison. It's government. What do they care? They're writing the checks. You're paying for it. So check out this out. Here we go. Wasteful. I said wasteful spending. Okay, nothing's getting resolved, meaning it's wasteful. It doesn't fix anything. So they're going to charge you more, an extra. So you're going to get charged what you already getting charged before. Households earning $28,000 to $69,000 would be charged an extra $20 to $34 per month. Okay, things get hot here. I'm not saying it's as hot as the East Coast or Texas. Okay, I'm not one of those, but it gets freaking hot for us here. Those earning $69,000 to $180,000. These are household incomes, folks. Okay, it's not out of the realm of being in this bracket right here. Even the next bracket would pay $51 to $73 per month. Maybe it will be $51,000 at some point. Those earning more than $180,000, which in Southern California for a household actually is not unreasonable, would pay $85 to $128 monthly surcharge. You're already paying a fee. It's not out of the realm of paying $100 plus a month already for electricity. Now you're going to pay another $128 for somebody else's electricity. Some other dude that has a job or doesn't have a job, doesn't matter, that's probably already suckling at the government teeth, meaning receiving taxpayer dollars already. So now you're funding his food, whatever is going on, maybe rental assistance. Now they want you to pay for his electricity. What's next? What's next? Folks, the Democrats just got done paying off people's student loans. After the Supreme Court said you couldn't do that. It's an overreach of the executive branch. Not allowed. Joe Biden puts forth an executive action and says, screw you, I'm going to do it anyways. I know. It's just spending money that we don't have. Holy lordy. So now you're paying for somebody else's college in California, for community college. You're paying for somebody else's medical bills. Now you're going to pay for somebody else's freaking electricity bill. What's next, folks? What's next? Holy lordy. Well, speaking of things going down south, and also speaking of knuckleheads like Gavin Newsom, we got Whoopi Goldberg here, folks. Good old Whoopi. So Whoopi snaps at Trump. because this isn't working in Whoopi's mind. It hasn't worked for a long time. Whoopi hasn't worked. Her brain hasn't worked probably since the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze. So she says, if he touches entitlements, we could put you in jail. So here, it's amazing when Trump goes, we need to put people that commit murder in jail. And she goes, oh my God, you can't call them murderers. You know, or she's going to say like other people should be thrown in jail, like Joe Biden, but she gets upset. Not Joe Biden. Oh, sorry. That's a Freudian slip. Joe Biden should be thrown in jail. Slipped the truth out a little bit. When she says, oh, you want to throw Donald Trump in jail, but when Donald Trump says he wants to throw murderers in jail, how dare you? They don't deserve to be in jail. They don't deserve to be locked behind bars. That's criminal. This is their way of thinking. So Whoopi Goldberg, we got video of this, snapped at former President Donald Trump on Tuesday, claiming that if he touched entitlements, we could put you in jail, which is an insane statement. So let's go to Whoopi here. I haven't seen it myself. I've been holding off because I want to share this moment with all of you. Just the craziness of it all. And as always, we're running a little slow here. There we go. All right. Let me make sure I get my audio going. All right, let's pump it.
The bad management of entitlements, tremendous bad management of entitlements. There's tremendous amounts of things, numbers of things you can do.
Yeah, we could put you in jail. For all of your entitlements. You know, the Social Security is not an entitlement. We paid for that. We paid every time you get a check. You paid it. This is your money. Yeah. You know, so does he have some supporters so obsessed with the idea of beating Democrats that they're not focused on what this man is saying he is planning?
Folks, I really do mean this. I don't know how anybody watches The View and comes out at the same level of intellect as they did when they went in. I mean, your level of intelligence has to have dropped. All of ours. We are all now dumber for having to listen to what Whoopi Goldberg just said. All of us are dumber. So let's bring the intelligence level back up. Whoopi, not all entitlements are Social Security. There's a lot of entitlements that people are given that don't pay into Social Security. Entitlements, rather, make up about 70% of our budget. So if we don't figure that out, we're going to continue to what? Have an increase in debt. You think 34 trillion is bad, Whoopi? Wait till it goes up once again, because Joe Biden's spending more money than we have. And so did Trump, to be honest. We have to cut entitlements. There's no way around it. What are you going to cut military? That's 20. I'll give you the highest 25% of our budget. Let's just say it's not. We'll say military is 25% of our budget. Whoopi, you going to cut that? Or you can cut the 70% that we have? What are you going to cut? She doesn't understand that. So Goldberg began the segment, as you just saw, with the clip of Trump in a phone interview on CNBC's Squawk Box, where he lamented the poor management of entitlement programs in years past. And he's absolutely correct on this. Trump is not wrong. If he was, I would let you know. I'm a Trump supporter, but I don't mind calling out Trump when he's wrong. He's not wrong here. I've been talking about this in terms of a personal finance aspect for freaking years. The bad management, the tremendous bad management of entitlements, these tremendous amounts of things, number of things you can do. Trump said apparently suggesting entitlement reform is in some fashion. Look, somebody, Democrat or Republican, no matter who it is, somebody's going to have to tackle this at some point. It's inevitable. We could put you in jail, she said, for all your entitlements. What does that even mean? You know, Social Security is not entitlement. We paid for that. Every time you get a check, you paid into this is your money. So what's your answer going to be when you only get 70 or 80% of your Social Security, which is what's being spoken of right now? Where's that 20, 30% that you paid into, Whoopi? Is that not is that not theft? Because you're saying right now that you're going to throw somebody in jail, but the government is already inevitably going into a situation in which you're only going to get 70 or 80% of your Social Security of which you put in. So meaning the government stole how much, Whoopi? Because you can do the math. Come on. You're better than all of us. What's the math on that, Whoopi? It's 20 to 30% that you just lost of your Social Security because we don't have enough money. We don't have enough funding. And by the way, Whoopi, because you don't have your head on straight and don't want to talk about reform, we don't have the birth rates in this country to sit there and pay for us that are going to retire in 30, 35 years. So what's going to happen with your Social Security then, Whoopi? You're just going to increase Social Security, take it more out of more Americans' pockets that can't afford groceries as it is right now, that can't afford all these billions of dollars of waste going all around the globe. 10 billion here to Iran that hates us. Oh, here's another 6 billion to this country that hates us. Here's another 100 billion to this country that hates us. oh, Ukraine, you need $100 billion. That's fine. Go ahead and take it, even though you're corrupt or upon all levels, which is not my words. That's the prosecutor Shokin's words within himself, of which he was looking into. We're not going to unhash that one again. So it's insane that they just say things, but they don't think a little bit. You know what I mean? They don't think what's coming out of their freaking mouths. So Goldberg did not mention a whole host of other entitlements, including a welfare program, federal welfare programs, most of which provide funds, resources, or services to people who do not pay into the system. Thank you. Isn't that what Bald Brad just said? Isn't that what I just said? People are siphoning from the government that don't pay into the system and are receiving more benefits from that system of which they put in. So according to the Trump campaign spokesperson, so they cleared this up, Trump had been talking about cutting waste, not entitlements. But she can't wrap her head around that because she has Trump derangement syndrome. She hates the guy so much that she just can't get it through her thick skull. President Trump delivered on his promise to protect Social Security and Medicare in his first term, and President Trump will continue to strongly protect Social Security and Medicare in his second term. What the Biden administration is doing, and we've heard them do this, Green Jean Pierre says it on the podium all the time. He said it during his State of the Union address. Again, he said it in his other ones, he said it in this one again, just rehashing the same lie over and over again, that Republicans want to cut your Social Security and Medicare. No, they don't. But there needs to be a reform. My suggestion, and this is going to be tough to do because it is going to hurt the prior generations, but there's no way out of this, you guys. There's no way out of our debt. There's no way out of anything financially for our country other than hurting the next generation. Does that make sense? Whether it's my generation or the other generation. My solution to this, everybody gets their Social Security that paid into it. Those that are being born, I don't know, let's say, starting 2025, are not going to get a Social Security check, but they still have to pay into Social Security because of what's going on. Or you have to get it from somebody else. That means you have to increase everybody else's Social Security because it's the youth. It's those that are working right now that are currently paying for those that are retired right now. So like me, my Social Security is not paying for me. It's paying for whoever's retired present time, which is mostly baby boomers and up. So where you got to get it from somewhere, or you increase taxes. And through those taxes, which heck, at that point, Social Security is just a tax, is just going to be taken from those that will never utilize it in the future, but there's no way around it. So that's the only solution that I see. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones. There's way more intelligent people than me, but it needs to stop. There's no way of funding this thing. It's going to get out of control. And by the way, there literally won't be funding this thing because we don't have enough births happening in the United States. So all that's taking place here. We'll see what Trump's great idea is, but don't expect any great ideas coming from Whoopi Goldberg. So with other news here on just news of the week, you got Jordan firing another subpoena at Mayorkas demanding ICE records. So more stuff going on in immigration, and rightfully so. Whether you're for or against it, it's still Americans' number one issue. And Jordan understands that. So on Wednesday, Jim Jordan once again subpoenaed Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas. This dude spent more time in Congress than he actually has at the border. This time demanding records pertaining to immigration and customs enforcement. Remember, speaking of transparency, remember how the Biden administration just hides everything from you? The Afghanistan debacle, the Twitter files, the classified documents of which we found out Joe Biden lied about. Alejandro Mayorkas said to Congress, specifically to Jim Jordan actually, that the border was secure, that everything's fine at the border, there's nothing wrong with it. 10 million people poured across illegally. That's just a fact. It's not my opinion. That's just what happened. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas sat there and told us the border was secure when it was not, meaning he lied under oath. Somehow, he's still sitting there as DHS secretary. Furthermore, this dude said that it was less than 85% of people were being let into the interior of the country. They had to sit there and twist the guy's arm to get the truth. And then he finally said, oh, well, it's upwards of 85 plus. Folks, when he says 85 plus, it could be 99% of illegals are just let loose into the interior of the country. We don't know the actual number. We just know it's above 85. So they're trying to get records of him pertaining to immigration and customs enforcement, meaning ICE. The subpoena is at least the third one Jordan has sent to Mayorkas in recent months, following one in December regarding documents on violent illegal immigrants and another in February over border security issues in Texas. Jordan has also sought information on illegal immigrant charged with murdering Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. As you recall, Joe Biden during his State of the Union address couldn't get her name right, even though it was on a pin. People were wearing the shirts and everything that he called her Lincoln Riley. And then he called the person illegal immigrant. Democrats got all upset with the fact that he called a alleged murderer, an illegal immigrant, rather than the fact that the dude allegedly bludgeoned a girl to death. They're upset over how he was spoken about during the State of the Union. Just shows you everything you need to know about the Democrat Party. As part of its oversight efforts, we conducted transcribed interviews with several immigration and customs enforcement officials. During these transcribed interviews, the ICE witnesses were unable to answer certain questions about data, documents, and communications related to the Biden administration's immigration policies. Of course, because it's all damning evidence. That's the problem. None of it is good for the Bidens. None of it is good for the country. None of it is good for anybody, which is why you don't want it released. In the same way we saw the DEI initiatives where they're spending $77 million and we're being forced to disclose how much that money was. They're not being transparent. We all know this. They haven't been transparent for years. They sat there on the podium for years and still are doing it to this day, lying to the American public. The dude had the cojones to stand on the State of the Union, yell at all of us, especially about paying our taxes when his own son hasn't paid taxes. He did tax evasion. Sat there and yelled at us for 1 hour and 30 minutes roughly, and just spewed a bunch of lies. And now he's doing it here again by covering all this stuff up. On November 2nd, 2023, the committee requested the department provide the information that ICE witnesses could not provide during the transcribed interviews. To date, the Department of Homeland Security has failed to fully comply with our requests. Of course. What do you got to hide, man? I heard there's nothing going on at the border. There's no crisis. Folks, it went from a challenge to a situation. There's nothing going on there. Why are you not complying? What's happening? What do you have to hide? Everything's fine and dandy down there, according to what the Biden administration is saying. Jordan said committee staff tried a number of occasions to inquire about the status of the request information in the months after DHS missed the deadline. Just bothered not even doing it. Not even bothering it. It's not a big deal. It shows you a repeated effort to sit there and it subvert what's actually going on at the border. Whether you agree with the border or not, it doesn't change the facts of what's happening. They don't care. We know they don't care. Biden has the authority. He's not going to use it. He's not going to use it. We heard it from Karine Jean-Pierre saying, hey, we want to go through a legislative pathways. It's up to Congress. That's the best way of doing it. And I've always said, if Congress is the best way of doing things, one, why do you use so many executive actions? And then second, if that's so important, then why did you not do it with student loan debt forgiveness? Why'd you push through executive actions again, doing something that the Supreme Court already said you couldn't do? So they don't have an answer, by the way. It's such a pigeonhole. They're so screwed with that, and thank God. That's Jackie Heinrich, by the way. I didn't come up with that myself. That comes from Jackie Heinrich. She's Wonder Woman for a reason. She's one of the top people in that room, along with Philip Wegman of Real Color Politics and Peter Doocy of Fox News, because that woman has her head on straight. So that comes from her. I don't know why she's not beating a dead horse with that one, because that is a losing argument over and over again for Karine. Jordan said committee staff tried on a number of occasions to inquire about the status of recent information and also requested information in the months of DHS missed the deadline. Across 2 occasions, the staff responded with first only a partial answer and later produced links to some public information that did not meet the panel's demands. So they're not getting any answers from this. They're trying to figure out here, like, what's going on in terms of, well, is there anything that suggested the information it seeks may influence legislative forms that could include reforming alternatives to detention, increasing penalties on aliens who abscond ICE, and enhanced ICE's tracking, detection, and communication, all this stuff, terrorist watch list. Remember, there's terrorists in this country at present time. Not my opinion. If you realize, you guys, I haven't really given much my opinion other than how I think you should fix Social Security. This is just all facts of what's happening. I know we're a political commentary show. I was astonished. I had a conversation with somebody. And I was like, I don't really give much of my opinion. I kind of just relay what the Biden administration's doing. There's probably some obviously bias in what I'm giving you. We're a conservative show, obviously. But it's just insane that out of 1,800 videos, I really don't give my opinion that much. I just give you guys what's going on with a conservative spin on it. Now, I'm sure you can read between the lines what my opinion is, but I'm not explicitly saying it. Now, speaking of something else that's hitting mainstream news, which we'll release another video later today regarding TikTok that we covered in the past, House passes bill that could lead to U.S. ban on TikTok, and I think this is a good move. I like TikTok, but with what the Chinese government's doing, I don't trust them. Folks, if our own government officials aren't allowed to have TikTok on their phone, you have to read between the line of, hey, why aren't they allowed to have TikTok on their phones? They must have intelligence that tells them that the Chinese are what? Listening in. Like, our government, yeah, can be stupid at times, especially when Democrats are in office, but they still have their head on straight in terms of intelligence for the most part. I'm not saying they're spot on, but like, if you're not letting government officials have TikTok, you gotta start answering. You gotta ask questions. Hey, what's going on here? Well, we know what's going on. Chinese, listening in. taking our data. That's what's going on. So on Wednesday, the GOP-led House passed a bill that could lead to a ban on TikTok unless its Chinese-based parent company, ByteDance, divests in the popular social media app. The legislation, known as the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, geez Louise, there's a name, was approved by a 352-65 vote. 50 Democrats and 15 Republicans voted against the measure. The bill now heads to the Democrat-controlled Senate. So that's a lot of Democrats, you guys. 50. I don't know what's going to go on at the Senate. I don't know if they're going to approve it. We'll see what happens of it. But I personally kind of hope they do. It's tough because I believe in free speech. But what do you do when that free speech and that utilization of the app is actually taking Americans' private information and also sitting there and advancing the intelligence of a foreign adversary? It's a tough question to ask because, again, I tend to lean regardless to free speech. But again, when our government is being subverted by a foreign government through their intelligence, through specifically the Chinese Communist Party, it should raise eyebrows. And that's exactly what's going on here. According to a press release from the Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, the bill prevents App Store availability or web hosting services in the United States for ByteDance-controlled applications, including TikTok, unless the application servers ties to entities like ByteDance that are subject to the control of a foreign adversary as defined by Congress in Title 10. So I believe, and don't quote me this, I think there's board members of ByteDance that are part of the Chinese Communist Party, and there are links to some of these people on ByteDance and TikTok, which is the parent company in China, that have connections to the military of the Chinese Communist Party. There's a lot there. Again, we'll have a video on it later. I highly suggest you guys check that out. It's actually a pretty good video. The legislation demands ByteDance sell TikTok within 180 days of the bill being enacted or risk having the app face a clampdown in the United States. Basically, not just running the United States at all. I'm curious to see what the Democrats' position is on this and kind of where they're going to go. So some of the opponents of the legislation, such as AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene, argued that the bill, which was introduced just last week, so it's relatively recent, was rushed and warned it could lead to more censorship. And that's where I was kind of talking about the free speech aspect of, you kind of get in some dicey territory of, well, what's stopping the Chinese Communist Party or Russian adversary rather, from utilizing Facebook or Twitter, which we know that they did in some extent when Trump was running in 2016 as well as 2020. We know the Russians had some involvement, but not on the scale of the Russian hoax that we saw from Robert Mueller and pushing by the Democrat Party. But they were using platforms like Twitter as well as Facebook. The question is that, one, is the Chinese Communist Party or is the Russian government utilizing those platforms to take intelligence from Americans, their private information, and utilizing for the benefit of their country and the benefit of doing harm to our country? That's the question. I don't really have an answer for you. I'm leaning more towards get rid of TikTok because there's other avenues, but you're also censoring a lot of people, including conservative Republicans that are on that platform, from getting free speech out there. Now, the other question is that could we develop another app that's instituted in here in the United States that doesn't have connections to the Chinese Communist Party? And that's kind of what the route Congress is, in a nutshell, going with, of saying, hey, if you just divulge yourself or basically get rid of, was that ByteDance or whatever the name of that company was, if you just kind of remove yourself from them, then we're basically good here. But if you don't, then basically you're going to sit there and not have a company at all, and you're going to be forced to sell it in 180 days or just not have anybody use your app here at all. So that's Marjorie Taylor Greene's kind of, and AOC's. Who would have thought that AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene would be on the same line? Pretty crazy. Well, in other news here, this is our last little bit of news. You have, we got two articles here. We'll see if we get to the last one. New York City crime stats 2023. Are crime rates up or down in the city? Now, this comes from Whoopi Goldberg, and I actually don't even have it up for you. Let's pull it up here while we're waiting.
Thank you. Governor, after a series of high-profile crimes on New York City subways, right, you deployed hundreds of state police and National Guard troops into the subway system. But since the pandemic, you have done a wonderful job. Overall crime is down in the city.
Yes, it is.
So my question to you is, why now? Why deploy to the subway? And how do you respond to some of your fellow Democrats calling the move theatrics that play into Republican narratives that blue cities are poorly run war zones?
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. My job is to keep people safe. I have to, any way I can, I'm going to keep New Yorkers safe. And I'll tell you who does show appreciation for the people out there on the streets. I've been walking the streets. I walk into business. People are just saying, thank you for taking such strong action. Now, you are correct that working with Mayor Adams, since I've been governor, we have driven down crimes. You know, homicides are down about 30%, shootings down about 38%. The subways have been safer, but we had a spike recently, a 45% increase in subway crimes. Now, these are high-profile crimes.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Yeah. Because the CEO of the MTA says that 1% of subway suspects are responsible for more than 20% of the crime because of New York's bail reform laws, which allows them to go back out there and commit more crimes.
I'll get to bail in 1 second. I'm going to answer this one because what happened is I needed to do something dramatic and quickly to send a message that you will not get away with committing crimes in our subways. You cannot slash the throat of a conductor. You cannot push someone onto the track because people will not take the subway if they don't feel safe. That's job number one. So they are not there to harass anybody. I said, I don't like those long guns. They're kind of threatening to stand there. I said, smile at everybody, welcome them to the subway. These are moms and dads. The National Guard are just our citizens who've stepped up.
So it says here crime rates has dominated headlines throughout 2023 with reports of stabbing, assaults, and more making national headlines. Now, if you recall, people in the New York subway system were being pushed in front of subways. Massive amount of crimes. People weren't paying for subway tickets there and just using the emergency exit as an entrance into the subway. And so they're coming in with rifles, like long rifles and all this stuff. And you have these Democrats being spooked because anytime there's guns in there, they go, "Ooh, icky, that's scary, I don't like that." When it's providing safety for citizens, which is the job of the government. So people get all upset because, oh my God, it's overblown. You have the National Guard down there protecting people. God forbid that it's a safe area. I'm telling you, Democrats love crime. They'll say they don't, but their actions say otherwise, you guys. They love crime. They do. Look, every Democrat ran city. You guys, if you remove the five cities with the most gun violence, okay, all Democrat, by the way, if you remove them, we're not even in like the top 50 of the globe in terms of gun crime. All happening in Democrat-ran cities. You want to know why it doesn't predominantly happen? It happens, but not as much in red cities. Because we're all strapped. Because we all have guns. And when somebody else is strapped, you don't F around and find out. Some people do, and they find out real quick that it don't work out so well for them. So that's why. Yes. What do I point to, folks? This not working. Hasn't worked for a long time for Democrats. That's why businesses are fleeing. That's why they got record homeless. That's why they have record crime. That's why they have record murders. That's why they have record gun violence. That's why they have record illegal immigration. That's why they have record debt. You see folks, I'm rattling this off the top of my head. It's been going on for decades. And what will they still vote for? You heard it during the State of the Union. 4 more years. 4 more years. They want 4 more years of just pounding from behind. Yes, sir, may I have another 4? Yes, sir, may I have another 4? The same people that complain about paying taxes vote to have higher taxes, called the Democrat Party. The same people that complain about crime allow more crime to happen. The same people that complain about homelessness allow more homelessness to happen. The people that complain about having the National Guard in the subway system are complaining that people are being violated, stabbed, assaulted in the subways, complaining about having National Guard there to protect them in the subway system. I know. You guys, it's only going to get worse, okay? It's only going to get worse. So check this out. While some say they're afraid the city has slipped back into the bad old days, what do the statistics show? The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, again, there was that clip that was being shown from The View saying, it was Sonny Hostin of The View was saying to Hochul, oh, well, again, why do you have the National Guard in there now when crime rates are actually down? You've done a good job since COVID. Why do you have them now, but you didn't have them in there before? Well, it's not wholly true, okay? She phrased it in a way that made it true, but in totality, she actually is not correct. So according to the NYPD statistics, overall crime was down in New York City, which is what she specified in the video, in 2023 by just under a percentage point compared to 2022. Virtually, you have no change. Both years saw more reported crimes. Okay, here we go. That's why I said she made it truthful, but in totality, she is not right. Both years saw more reported crimes compared to 2020 and 2021, but rates are lower compared to 2019 before COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. Folks, there's still a lot of crime. Crime is still up. Okay, it depends on how you want to sit there and twist the statistics. She sat there and said, well, overall crime is down by COVID. Yeah, technically true, but they do the same thing. I'll give you another spin that The View has done. This comes from Whoopi Goldberg herself. She goes, well, it's red states that have the most crime. She's not wrong. She actually is correct. But the way that spin happens is it's not the red state, it's the blue cities in those red states that is causing those red states to have the most crime. Democrats are causing red states to have rampant crime because it's the Democrat-ran cities on how they run things so poorly, allowing this crime to happen. And yes, you heard me correctly, allowing this crime to happen. That's why we just did a story the other day where the police are not actually responding to calls between 7 and 3 a.m. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Folks, they have 22 officers on the streets for the entire city. They're down like 150 officers. They're supposed to have 900. They have like 740. You think crime is going to go up? You think it's going to go down? These are the same people that want gun-free zones. These are the same people that want to sit there and defund the police. And they can't wrap their head around. Like, they literally can't understand why there's more crime. They can't understand why there's lawlessness. They can't understand why there's smash and grabs. They can't understand why businesses are fleeing Democrat-ran areas. Their answer to all this is racist, right? Oh, it's xenophobic. It's bigoted. You know, whatever phrase they want to throw at us. They always do. They literally they can't make the connection, you guys. It's really an astonishing thing to see, right? We're able to do it. Not only are we able to understand our own argument, we're able to understand their argument as well in terms of why they would do something. We think it's idiotic. We get you don't like guns. We get that you think they're scary. We understand all. I mean, we lived in your culture our entire lives, to the education system, to the media, to everything. Our whole lives were surrounded and still are by leftist viewpoints. The problem is they don't know our viewpoints. They're not able to make the connections because nobody sits there and is allowed to talk about the other viewpoint, meaning conservative Republican viewpoints, in the education system. You can't talk about Trump. You can't talk about conservatism in the education system. You can't talk about it in the college education system because it's a bunch of leftist professors running the show. You can't talk about it anywhere. So they don't know our viewpoint. They just think that they do, and that's why they spew a bunch of garbage, which is what we saw from Sunny Hostin. It's not all good news, however. The city has seen 6.3% increase in assaults. Oh, but I thought it was all down. Huh. I was told by The View it was all down. Interesting. What do you mean they lied? What do you mean they sit there and manipulate their audiences? Huh. Because I have no problem. People go, oh, well, Brad, you're cherry picking the data. They're right. Crime is down overall. Great. If that was true, awesome. Why would I argue that? Wouldn't I be like, wow, that's a really great thing. New York citizens are safer than they were 4 years ago. Awesome. Why would I cover it then? Why? Because it's not true. 6.3% increase in assaults, 15% increase in grand larceny, stabbings and slashings, also up just over 5%. The city's subways have been a focus of New York's crime anxieties, but according to the MTA, overall crime is down on the rails, although felony assaults have just been slight up. So it's how you read the data. It's just how, pick and choose how you want to manipulate it. Either way, you have the National Guard in there, sitting there trying to get things under control because the Democrats can't, because they can't run their own cities. All right, we got 8 minutes. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, baby. Let's keep going. I know you guys are here for the show. Hey, you're here for the show. Some of you are members here, folks. You put your hard-earned money into the show. I think you deserve to get the I don't even know how to phrase it. Get your money's worth. That's what I want to phrase it as. Well, here we go. Enough with this. Damn with the rants, man. I'm almost out of breath here. Working hard, baby. So, cheers to you, folks. Can we get a cheers here? Cheers to you, folks. If you haven't got a mug, folks, it's in the links down. You guys got to drink out of this with me, baby. It's the good old mug. It's the good stuff. It's so good. I have such a good time with you guys. I'm silly. Look, my personality in real life, I'm a weirdo. Okay, I'm introvert. I'm weird. But I have a damn good time with you guys. Somebody left a comment. I'm going to do a side tangent here. Somebody left a comment. I'm going to do a side video on it because I think it's really important. Talk about my 50,000 subscribers, which is amazing that we have it. But if you look at my views are only like 200, 300 a video, which doesn't make sense. Folks, if you go back to my old videos, not my way before videos where I was getting like 23 views or like 50 views, which is still amazing to me. If I got 1 view, that's awesome. And I will always have that personality, by the way. I think it's amazing that I have 50, 100, 200, doesn't matter to me. Maybe there's 20 of you in the live chat right now or watching this video streaming live. Like, that to me is amazing. And you deserve the best performance. You deserve the best video that I feel like I'm capable of doing, which I feel like I do. Like, you deserve the best. You know what I mean? Regardless of how many people watch it. But her conversation was kind of surrounded, and she makes a good one of going, how do you only have 200 views when you have 50,000 subscribers? I'm right there with you, sister. And for those that have been with me for years, I've talked about this since I had 1,000. And then I talked about it again when I had 10,000. Then I talked about it again when I had like 25,000. I talk about it every time. I've talked to YouTube about it. You guys, it's gotten so wild that YouTube doesn't even understand it. The dude that I was talking with on YouTube probably like a month or two ago, I go, look, man, you're giving me all this baloney. I think I'm being shadow banned. I am a statistics instructor. That doesn't mean I know everything about math. It doesn't mean I'm even at a professor level math or anything like that. But I teach statistics and I'm able to understand the basics of it and go, this is not right. This does not make sense that you're telling me that, oh, well, it's just because of the bell notifications that nobody has their bell notifications on that they're not clicking your videos. 50,000 people aren't seeing my video. I was telling them, you're telling me I don't even get 1,000 views? 500 views? Some shady, freaky deaky thing is going on here. I think I'm being shadow banned. So that's my, because she wrote on there, she goes, I'm not going to accuse you of buying bots. By the way, the amount of investment that I put into this, I almost said company, we're not a company, but the amount of investment of time that I put into this, I would never buy subs because I am so fearful of YouTube shutting me down if I did something like that. Because you could buy likes and views and subs and all that stuff. I'd be so I'm fearful they're going to shut me down just on what I say. You know what I mean? And I think they already kind of are. I mean, they've removed videos of me already. They've sat there, and I think they are shadow banning my channel because it statistically does not make any sense. But just so you guys know, I've never bought subs. I've never bought views. I've never bought likes. I never freaking will, because one, I don't even make enough money. I don't buy comments. I don't do any of that. I think there's only two routes. I'm being shadow banned, and I think the other route is most of my subscribers come from my shorts. Not my physical shorts, but you understand, my YouTube shorts. I had to be clear on that. I didn't realize that. And so that's the other route, where probably 90 to 95% of my subscribers are from my YouTube shorts, because I've had a lot of viral videos that have gone just wild, like 1.5 million views, 1.7 million views on multiple videos. So I just wanted to address that. I appreciate our comments and stuff, but I wanted to address it because I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. Like, oh, well, he's just buying subscribers, and that's why it's not correlating to views. No. I will be stoked with 200. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense. I'm happy to have you guys here. You guys know that. I say that all the time. I'm genuine. I love you guys. You're patriots. You care about this country. You care about the channel. But I want to make you aware, I would never do something like that. And again, we are already walking on eggshells with YouTube. All right, let's wrap this up here. House GOP exposes woke items in Biden's $7.3 trillion budget. Again, ending off with a banger regarding the wasteful spending of our government. So the House Republicans are furious over woke programs President Biden wants to fund in his $7.3 trillion, you guys. God. It's just an insane number. Like, talking in trillions is wild. Biden released his I'm still out of breath with it. Biden released his 188-page proposal to fund the federal government on Monday. It lays out roughly $5 trillion in tax increases overall. But he's only going to tax the rich, you guys. Don't worry about it. He's not coming from the middle class. We got to start from the middle out. We got to start from the middle out. We're only going to tax the wealthy. No, you're not. He's coming for you. This is bull. This is BS. It's BS. The White House said would be split evenly between corporations and top 2% of earners. I was a tax accountant, folks, for a few years. He's lying to you. In the same way, when they hired the 86,000 IRS agents, they go, we're just going after the wealthy. We're just going after the big fish. No, they're not. They will for a short time. And then once they realize that they got all the money from the big fish, who do you think they're going to come after? Just take a wild gander. Yeah, you and I. For frivolous stuff. They want their money and they're going to take it because they're greedy. A new memo by House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington, it's really tiny on my screen, highlighted billions aimed at green energy initiatives and equity programs. Meanwhile, the U.S. national debt is currently just under $34.5 trillion, and the federal government deficit, they're not even close. They're not even close. This is my number one issue other than immigration, you guys. That's why it impacts me so much, because this is I've thought about it a lot. I don't know how to quantify it into words how bad this is. We have a deficit of $531 billion. Joe Biden stood on the podium and said that he figured the deficit out during the State of the Union. Oh, I lowered it by trillions. No, he didn't. Because he lied to you. And he's going to continue to lie to you. In the same way, oh, we're only going after corporations and the wealthy. Let's just assume. Let's assume he doesn't go after let's assume that he only goes after the corporation, doesn't go after you. Where does that tax get put on? Where does that tax go? If you're going to sit there and tax the bleep out of corporations and billionaires, who are your employers, who pays for the tax? Where does it get passed on to? Correct, us. In a way, who's getting taxed then? Yes. Yes, us. Us. Yes. Yeah. So this dude saying he has inflation under control. Oh, you paying like $9 for eggs and, $7 for gas in some areas. Hell, some areas of California is $9 a gallon for gas. He has it all figured out. Really, Joe? Really? We got to focus on the middle out. We're middle out. We're going to focus on the middle class because that's what builds America. I'm not wealthy. I don't even know if I'd be classified as a middle class. Folks, it's going to get passed on to you. You know what? They're going to start taxing you. Okay? And it's also, if he just goes after the corporations and billionaires, not only does the tax get passed down to you through their goods and services that you're buying, but also you might be out of a job because labor is so expensive in some areas. And Joe Biden brags about it. It's great that people are getting paid more, but it also inflates the economy. And some of it's artificially inflated because Joe Biden pumped the economy full of trillions of dollars. At one point, literally the government was outcompeting the private sector. The government artificially inflated the economy so bad that people were willing to stay home because they're getting paid more money than they were going into the office. That's not a good thing. That's not a free market. That's not capitalism. Look at this way. Jesus. On climate change, Biden is seeking $8 billion. We couldn't even get $3 billion for a border wall under Trump, and they're just willing to throw out $8 billion here, $10 billion to this country, $100 billion to this country. It's insane. We have the money according to them, but for a while we didn't. $8 billion for his American Climate Corps. I'm being facetious. We don't have the money, but they're playing it as if we did. Aimed at hiring 50,000 new staffers by 2031. Mobilize a new diverse generation of climate resilience workers. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. The Texas Republican also flagged $10.6 billion that Biden wants for the Department of Energy to bolster climate and clean energy research, development, demonstration, and deployment programs, a 12% increase from the previous year. We don't have money, but we're increasing the budget. Blow it out of the water once again, Joey. You have it all figured out, buddy. Democrat or Republican, you guys, we're all getting screwed. We're all Americans at the end of the day. We're all getting screwed. That's why I always said I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm a registered Republican, but I'm a fiscal conservative, and I don't like this one bit. Biden also seeking $1.5 billion for Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Wants to give more money to the EPA. The same EPA that you can't go dig a hole in the desert because you're hurting the wildlife. You dig a hole to take a doo-doo in, and you can't. They'll come get you, flag you. There's a fine. We're going to tow your car at the same time. You got a homeless guy taking a crap next to you. He's fine. Nothing happens to him. It goes on and on, folks. There's pay for people's community college, free community college. Money's being thrown everywhere. Yeah, screw it. Let it burn down. Yeah, burn down the country, Joe. It's fine. No, you got it all figured out, buddy. Democrats have it all figured out. They know how to run their states. They know how to run their localities. They want to lie to you, and people are still going to vote for it. What a damn good show. What a damn good show. I got to give my pat on the back every now. I'm not saying every time I kill it, but damn, I felt pretty good about this one today. We kind of botched the Sunny hosted one. I thought I had it up, but I don't know what happened to that clip. But, maybe I'll try to put it in during editing or something like that. But, think of it this way. I just saved you from watching another video from The View. If you want to become a member, it's 99 cents. We would love your help. You know those old videos where you could feed a person for 5 cents a day? Well, you could feed a bald conservative for 5 cents a day. There's no way of saying it. But you understand what I mean. 99 cents gets you a membership here. You get cool badges. We do convert our podcast, our hour-long podcast, which you just watched. We premiere it, but after the 24 hours is up, we revert it back to members only. We would love your support here. We premiere these videos because the members like the live chat, as do I. I miss communicating with everybody in there. I miss seeing you engage with one another. That's what this is about. It's about a community. It's not about necessarily money. It'd be nice to make a ton of money, but I don't. The community is what's important, and the members miss the live chat. We'll still have bonuses and stuff for members as we go forward. But the man only has so much time, folks. I'm one man doing everything myself. I don't have a staff. I don't have an assistant. I just say we, like, oh, we can do this. It's only me. I do this out of my closet. Okay. I have a full-time job. I also have other jobs outside of my full-time job. So this is a hobby, but damn, it's a great hobby to hang out with you Patriots, have a cup of coffee with you every single morning. Heck, doing live streams like we did for the State of the Union, playing bingo that we cleaned the board with, by the way. So I'm going on more rants. I'm just trying to hang out with y'all. Okay, give me a break. I love you. I love you. With that being said, folks, we'll be back tomorrow, Friday. Jeez, we'll make it another week with Joe Biden in office. And then we'll be back on our second channel, Spooky Adventures, on Saturday as well, for our weekly video. Be on the lookout for that. The link is down in the description. Some of you can't find the link, guys. It's literally down in the description. It just says Spooky Adventure second channel, so just copy and paste that. If not, just leave me a comment. I see all of them, and I'll paste the link for you. If somebody else catches it, paste the link. But thank you so much, folks, for all your support and help. We do have a baldbrad.com. We got a shop. We got a book. We got merch. We got it all, folks. And I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show.